This fund invests in emerging markets equities. So think of countries like China, India, Mexico, Brazil, parts of Africa and Eastern Europe. Those are the markets that this strategy invests in. At FSSA, we believe that to make a successful investment in emerging markets, you need to get the people and the culture right and make sure that you're aligned to that organization as minority shareholders. So this is step one. So once we're sure of the quality of the people, the owners, management team, and the governance standards in that organization, that is when we choose to then look at the franchise quality. And there we are looking for companies that are able to generate high returns on capital employed and grow sustainably for very long periods of time, driven by underpenetration, demographic tailwinds, productivity catch-ups, and the like. And finally, we make sure that we are not overpaying for these companies by making very simple assumptions about what a company might look like in terms of its sales, margins, and free cash flows over, say, 5 to 7 years, and figuring out whether we as patient investors can stand to make a reasonable return, maybe 12 to 13% sort of dollar adjusted returns over a 5-year period. And if not, then we might not invest. But that's the basic building blocks of how we invest in emerging markets. Well, given the way we invest, where we emphasize preservation of capital, there will be periods of time in emerging markets when they are fueled by liquidity-driven rallies, where we leave returns on the table. But at the same time, when markets are tough and reality hits home in many emerging markets, that's when the companies that we've invested behind tend to outperform. Which is what investors must be aware of when they're investing in the strategy. ESG is a core part of our investment philosophy. It has always been. We have been investing in emerging markets for over 30 years now. And unless you get the governance right, which is something that is core to the way we look at companies, unless you get the governance right, whatever a company subsequently does with respect to its reporting, disclosures, doesn't really matter, because then it's greenwash. So we are very keenly aware of very glossy, thick sustainability reports when we know the reality of the company's operations. So we are ESG investors, not by branding, but in spirit. So that's pretty much how we approach the topic. Emerging markets tend to be a great diversifier for many strategies and many investors, just purely because of the range of countries and economies that we are investing in. So things might be hard in China, but they're doing, the Indian companies are doing really well. Mexico is doing really well. So there's always parts of the world that are doing poorly, but equally there are parts of the world that are doing very well, which means that by investing in the strategy, you're exposed to a diversified set of outcomes for companies.